Here is astounding.
Once these bergs are in Iceberg Alley, their days are numbered. And it's not just the sun beating down on top and the grinding effect of the wave. In calm conditions, the less dense and buoyant meltwater mixes with the salt water and moves up and down the underwater sides of the iceberg, slowly but surely making the berg part of the Atlantic Ocean.
Icebergs come in all shapes and sizes. This one in the background is referred to as an iceberg castle because of the shape, and it's in the neighborhood of 700 to 800,000 tons, so approaching 1 million tons. In the Grand Banks area, some bergs will get up to 10 million tons, but that's rare. The smaller bits are called growlers, bergy bits, and various other names for pieces scattered over the surface around the size of a piano. Personally, this is the one I like.
Getting up close and personal with some of the smaller bergs is a real treat. The tip of the iceberg is an expression based in scientific fact. The iceberg floats, of course, because it's less dense than seawater. And it's the ratio of the densities that tells us 7/8 of the iceberg mass has to be under the surface. So we're going to take a look. That's one of the things I like about this TV show. I get to play with toys. This is a high-definition camera in an underwater housing. So I'm going to run this down below the surface and have a look around, see what we can see. We're only down about 8 feet. Let's take a look on the monitor here. Well, you can definitely see the ice wall. I'm on a ledge here, right along at the edge of a ledge. So about 15 to 20 feet down, this iceberg arcs out. It's almost like a mini continental shelf. So I'm going to try and get under the ledge of this ice by extending this high-definition camera extending device. Actually, it's a painter's bowl. Probably the first time it's ever been used for this, I would suspect. Maybe enough to just get under the edge here. Hard to see. Let me hold it right there just for a sec. No, I'm still above the ledge. It's hard to estimate depth. That's down there a fair ways. And it goes for some depth below that. But you can definitely see the dividing line there where it's darker below. And here's the shelf, the aquamarine looking shelf that's reflecting the sunlight coming down from below. So we're down below there. And who knows how far it goes down. I would suspect it probably a couple 100 feet. Well, I never thought I'd get the chance to look underneath an iceberg from so close up. But speaking of close up, I think maybe we better get out of here before this thing decides to swap ends. Well, this is getting a little odd. We're going through what looks like acres and acres of scattered ice. And I'm not exactly sure how he's going to get through here. We're not really in an icebreaker. This is a wooden-hulled boat. It used to be an old Royal Canadian Navy coastal patrol vessel. That's when you got to trust the captain.
We did get the ice checked for purity. It came out so good that we knew that the water was the purest you can get. It makes a beautiful tea or coffee, and people tell me it makes a good wine too.
It's quality and not always quantity when it comes to iceberg harvesting. A little firepower separates the berg into smaller, manageable chunks.
Barry, we're trying to get a bit of ice off this berg here now, and sometimes we can't afford to wait around all day for them to naturally calve, so we boost them up a bit. We fire a few rifle shells at them.
Is there a likely target where you figure it might come off there, Skipper?
Right here, that piece that's overhanging there, look.
No. Just wounded it. I can't imagine he's going to stand still for us much longer. One of these has got to scare him off. There, we've got a little bit of a hunk off. Bragging rights for iceberg water is its purity. We'll find out just how pure at Memorial University in St. John's. For now, I'll take a sample in this lab-approved container from the hunk I shot off the iceberg earlier. Then after the break, we'll take iceberg water on a spin in the inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometer. I'll say that 3 times. Now that I'm safely back on dry land after hunting icebergs off Newfoundland's east coast, it's time to investigate whether this iceberg water really is as pure as it's touted to be. So we're going to be comparing this sample of meltwater from ice that I took off the iceberg to this known quantity, plain old St. John's tap water.
Memorial University's resident iceberg expert is Dr. Stephen Bruneau. The water samples will be tested with the help of lab technician Pam King. And because these icebergs were formed thousands of years ago, we're only testing for trace metals and not bacteria.
Okay, this is an inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometer. It has an argon plasma generated inside this little torch. It burns the argon, so the temperature inside that torch is actually 10,000 degrees Celsius. So once everything gets inside there, it automatically is ionized. Okay, so now that we've got it all set up and ready to go, we'll just go to the computer and start the machine going. So this graph here shows the masses and the periodic table along the bottom here. And these are the counts that it's collecting as it scans the detector across this whole mass range. This data here then gets taken to another computer and calculated to give us our results.
I see. If I were to go through that machine, would it give me superpowers?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. Okay, well, the results are in, and it looks like the iceberg water lives up to its reputation.
City water is showing us that it has about 6 parts per billion of lead, and the iceberg water is around 1 to 2.
We're actually showing all of these trace metals and elements well below the tap water from the city of St. John's, which is itself quite clean. So we're in good shape.
We can let the iceberg cowboys know. Time to move on to the next rodeo. Iceberg water is all well and good, but man does not live by water alone. We're here at the Kitty Vitty Brewery in St. John's. They make a special beer out of iceberg water. Lined up, we've got, one is the iceberg beer.
Right.
And
right.
the other two are popular Canadian brands. Cheers, by the way. Cheers, that's not bad. Nothing to compare it with. Yeah,
No,
I'd probably
right.
say the same thing this first sip of anything, actually.
I would, yeah, I wouldn't turn it down.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Okay, number 2 here, yeah.
Okay. A little lighter, I think, than the last one.
I don't know if it's lighter. There's more of there's more distinctive taste. There's more of a neutral taste to the first one, I think.
I think so, too.
Number 3.
You noticed that little swirl beforehand, eh?
Yeah.
I think I recognize this one.
Handy.
I think I know this one.
I swirl too, just to see if there's a butt in the bottom. I got to go with the second one. I got to go with the middle one. Yeah, the odd man out of the 3.
Absolutely, I'm with you.
Okay, we'll call in our expert here. Oh, here she is. Okay,
hi.
Heather from Kitty Vitty.
Hi.
Give her your decision.
Well,
because we're together on this.
Oh, absolutely. I loved it. I thought it was wonderful. The flavor, color, the whole shebang. The number 2.
Well, you're both right. It is number 2.
So we should have a toast to our friend the iceberg.
Why don't we do that, eh? To the iceberg.
Iceberg.
There we go.
Cheers.
The clean-tasting iceberg beer is one of the more innovative uses for the unique floating real estate found off Newfoundland. But these bergs are both beautiful and potentially lethal. With the long iceberg mapping missions flown by the International Ice Patrol, the danger to shipping has been dramatically reduced. At the same time, these bergs are an important source of income and livelihood for the iceberg cowboys.
Spending time flying over and motoring through Iceberg Alley and harvesting ice has been dramatic. And getting this close to these magnificent ice castles is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I'm Barry Kennedy in Iceberg Alley, and this is Out in the Cold.